Wow. Some people got big mad over today's first video. How's it going, everybody? This is video number 2 for the day, and I knew I was going to have to make a second video for the day. I was preparing myself mentally for it, so here we go. Today's video previously that I put out was actually just a regular DC Talking Points video that I kind of added a flavor of something that I was trying to test a pilot run on. As a YouTube content creator, I need to make sure that I'm always enjoying the content that I'm making, that I'm having fun, that I'm entertained by what I'm doing, and I don't want to get bored, and I don't want you to get bored with the content either. There are some people that are on YouTube that have been making the exact same kind of content the exact same way for 3, 4, 5, 6, a decade worth of years. And that's just not me. I'm not like that. I have to change things up. I have to try new things. It doesn't mean that I don't want to do action figure reviews anymore, because I still love collecting. I still love doing reviews. But you, if you've been a subscriber to this channel for any length of time, you know, you can attest to the fact that I change things up. I do things differently. Heck, the last few videos are 2 completely different ways of reviewing something that I usually do. And yes, when I pay a lot of money for a high-end figure, I typically will, stick to the straight and narrow, and of course there'll be humor in there, but I've got a way that I do things because I paid a lot of money for it, and I know that you would be paying a lot of money for it, so I want to make sure that I put forth the best kind of TLC style, action figure review that I can. That's the name of the game. But some of the times that I make videos, it's like, well, it's an older product, or it's not an expensive product, or it's a kid's product. Now I can stretch my legs and do something kind of silly, kind of out of the ordinary, a little bit more out of the ordinary than normal. That being said, even though all that is a thing, I've got other kinds of videos that I make too, not just the figure reviews. I do movie reviews, I do television show reviews, I do my eBay. That eBay series that I started, that's still a relatively new series, and people seem to have enjoyed the series because they've gotten the humor. They understand that I'm just joking around. I'm not being serious with it. That's my life. This is how I behave in real life. Ask my family. This is how I always am. I'm not putting on airs for you. This is how I am. So for me to want to change the content up again or add something new, really it was to add something new, I thought, what could I do? And I'll be honest with you. I will be completely honest with you. Currently, I have less money to buy products to review for the channel. My sources of income for this channel classically have been whatever money I made off of YouTube, and I've made less just because of COFAT-19. And then it's been whatever income I, over the years, even before YouTube, I used to put into my collection that I just take out of my own household budget, as a father. And then I've also got my credit cards that are now maxed, so they're just off the table, period. And I'm just paying off the cards now. They're not even part of my PayPal anymore. And then when I buy things on eBay from legit sellers that aren't scalpers, but for example, Mezco 112th Collective, how I get half of those is from someone who's an actual seller, and they're selling them for market price. So $80 online is also $80 on eBay. I'm not paying any more money to buy it off the eBay seller. But if I don't have any money, how I go about paying for it is eBay has this whole, through PayPal, pay for it later. That's not working for me anywhere on any platform, especially eBay. That's been gone since COFAT, because all these companies, PayPal included, are trimming off all of their loose ends to make sure that they don't lose a ton of money, because they know that half of North America for a time wasn't working. They weren't bringing any money, so they were going to default on their debts, so goodbye option. I just don't have it anymore. So my buying ability went from here to here. It got so much more limited, so much smaller. But I still love making YouTube content, and I've wanted to try new things, like I said, and vary it up for a long time. And you've seen me bring in new things, so I thought, it might be kind of interesting to bring in like a fake news segment. But how do I want to bring it in? And I found myself with 2 options in my mind. I could maybe try to do it like slip it into a DC Talking Points video, and then, each one would be, the first one would be kind of like a gotcha thing, and then eventually people would figure out that there would be times when I've just told some stories that might not be true, and maybe it would be like a fun game to figure it out. Obviously, that one didn't go over well because some people are very upset with me, and I'll get to that in a second. The other option was I could just do a complete fake news segment where it would be all fantasy stories and all silly stories, and it would be completely obvious that it was its own new thing. I didn't know what I was going to do, so today's video was a dry run. It was a pilot. how I wanted to introduce it. And so I thought, well, let's try just putting a few in with the DC talking points. Let's just try that. Let's see how that works. And I think most people got it because I think most of you actually watched the videos till close to the end. I actually revealed that a couple of the stories were fake, and not even at the end. There was still a considerable amount of time at the end of the video after that. So if people didn't make it to that point in the video, that's not on me, that you didn't watch the whole video. And I know that sounds kind of annoyed. I'm not even annoyed. It's just not my fault. You didn't make it to the part where I'm like, hey, guess what? A few of these were fake. And secondarily, if you are that upset, if you're that butthurt, if you're that... And I mean this like, that bothered, I mean this in the most genuine way. Speaking as somebody who has depression myself and I take medication for it, if you're that upset about the fact that I played a joke outside of the bounds of the one day in April where I guess I'm allowed to play pranks, if you're that upset about it, honestly, that worries me that someone would get that upset. If you get that upset because I've played a prank on the channel, then honestly, I don't want you subscribed to this channel because I don't want you getting that bothered, that disturbed by something. Because honestly, I'd like to tell you, I'll always do things by the straight and narrow a certain way, but I can't because I don't know myself what I'm going to do from day to day. I'm a very unpredictable kind of person in that light. So I can't tell you that I will never make a video that you will never be offended by ever again or bothered by. And I would rather see you not bothered by the video that I've made rather than stick around and be upset by the videos that I've made. Because there's no malicious intent in this video. There's no real intent to actually mislead people with this video. It was all supposed to be in good fun. And some people took it a lot more serious than even I had anticipated. And believe me, some of the comments I've replied to in the comment section, where people have been really upset with me. But others, they're in my spam bin. I've got certain comments that won't even show up in my comment section because they're that bad. I was not expecting people to get so upset that I played a prank. But honestly, if you do get that upset, please unsubscribe from the channel for your own mental health and for mine, because I don't want to have to fear that I'm going to make a video that's going to get someone so annoyed or upset or butthurt or so bothered that they're actually having an annoyed, knee-jerk, angry, visceral reaction. Now, I get it. Humor itself is subjective. The same way that music is. One person might like Picasso's work, while another person goes, it just looks like a bunch of stuff that a kid drew. While another person may love Nirvana or Smashing Pumpkins, and somebody else might go, oh, they don't even know how to play their instruments. That's terrible music. It's subjective, and the same can be said for humor. Some people love Dave Chappelle. They think that his social commentary in his comedy is right on point, while other people, they just don't find it funny at all. They think it's tasteless, and so the point is, it's subjective. And the humor that I made in this video, it was subjective. I can't actually, I know it's not funny. I'm not a really funny guy. But what is humorous to me, what is entertaining and humorous to me, I feel maybe other people might get the joke. But I suppose some people, like I said, are upset about it and bordering on being even bitter. And that bothers me. I don't want to bother someone. So, like I said previously, if you're that bothered by it, please unsubscribe from the channel to do yourself a favor and to do me a favor. You just don't need to be subscribed to the channel. There are plenty of other fish in the sea. YouTube is a rainbow of options. You can just go watch another channel that will do for you what you would like and what you would need it to do. If you're upset by this video, then clearly you never got me in the first place. I suppose it just is what it is. Going forward, what I will do is, because I don't plan on dropping this fake news segment. I had a lot of fun making it. I'm going to make sure that it just doesn't end up in the DC talking points ever again. And it'll just be its own thing. I'll make my own fake news segment that is 100% fake news. And it'll be wish fulfillment stories. It'll be silly stories. It'll be its own thing. But I guess this dry run, it showed me. It showed me that I probably can't mix these two together without people getting upset. Anyway, I guess that's all for today. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching video number 2 for the day. And glad we could clear the air. Have a DC day, and take care.